Welcome to Unmasking the Man, a program that fearlessly dives into the depth of masculine journey, bringing light to the hidden narratives and shedding the layers that society often imposes when defining what it means to be a man in the 21st century. This is a program that we hope will empower and equip men to lead fulfilling and purpose-driven lives in the contemporary world. Our aim is to foster meaningful conversations that inspire personal growth, strengthen relationships, and empower men to embrace their true identities as sons of God. Once again, welcome wherever you're watching us from. I'm your host, Justus, and together with my guests, we embark on an extraordinary adventure of understanding, growth, and brotherhood. Karibuni sana.
Asante sana.
Welcome to the show.
For having us.
Yes. So this is our maiden episode of Unmasking the Man.
The man.
Oh man, there's so much to talk about unmasking, having come from a pandemic.
The man.
The man. Now, let me allow you guys to introduce yourselves because there's something about self-introduction. I'm trying to sound philosophical, you know. No, but honestly, it's such a pleasure to have you join us, Levi and Pastor Kesis. But I just want to give you an opportunity to, introduce yourself to our audience and share something small about you that perhaps people don't already know. Because you guys are in the public light, we already know almost everything about you, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who goes first?
Who goes first? Levi, go first.
Yeah, my name is Levi or Levi, depends on where you went to school, Kones. I am a father of 3 very beautiful girls, a husband to 1 amazing wife called Wangeshi. And I am an author of the book, There Is No Useless Experience. It's about to have a sequel to it, just about in this month. I'm also a journalist by profession. I'm a TV producer. And I have been involved in many productions, both on mainstream media and on social media, especially with regards to men's issues. So I'm very, very honored and privileged to be a part of this particular program. And let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Your turn.
Well, my name is Ray Kesis. Currently, I'm an associate professor of applied theology and religious studies. But basically, I'm a pastor. That's my business, my day-to-day business, apart from training pastors and teachers of religion. I do pastoral work. I'm married, and I go around preaching the gospel, as Jesus said, teaching people.
Right.
And I think that's it.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
I think we'll explore more about you as we go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've also written some 5 books.
4, 5.
Yeah.
Thereabout.
Yeah. The 2 that are common, you find them in ABCs, are probably Nuggets to Live By. And there's another one, Building Blocks for Life. It's a devotional book for a whole year.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, gentlemen, we are talking about a subject that we are titling, and this is going to be a whole series, only that this is our maiden episode, Unmasking the Man.
The man.
So much to it, just by the sound of this. But in a world full of relativity, it's amazing how we've gotten to a level where we almost not sure about anything anymore. That you could even be a man and not be a man at the same time. That we have even lost very basic definition of things. And that makes me now open up this conversation from a point of definitions and ask, who is a man?
Yeah, there's the man.
Yes.
That means there are other men, but there is the particular man. You know, how I look at it, just as is, when you look at the Bible, there is the man God created. And then there is the man who circumstances have created. For example, when you look at the beginning, a man was defined by his God. So that when you read earlier literature of religion, you will find that man was defined by God, God of Abraham. So Abraham has a God, people are associated with a deity. even if it was not necessarily the Christian deity. But as time passed by, men were defined by their ability to conquer their enemies and territory. So that the man was this, security of the family, he must be able to fight, he must be able to do what. So the man was being defined by those circumstances. In the wilds of Africa, a man must be able to kill a lion. Some community says that, if you can kill a lion, the greatest threat.
The epitome of...
Yeah, then you are the man.
Yes.
And then now we are living in circumstances where we now have empowered women in our time. So the women have also drafted their expectations of the man. So the man is being defined by many things, like he's defined how much money does he have, how long he can last in a race. Like if there is a race they are running, and this one you can understand later in the week. If he can last long in a race, then they say, yeah, that's a man, those kind of things. But now the question is that the man?
Right.
Is that the man?
Is that the man? So a lot of conflicting identities, so to speak, that we can already think about. When you think of the man, there are a lot of conflicting identities that come around, inspired by totally different contexts and environments. In your environment, in your culture, growing up, Levi, what was that identity that was ascribed to the man?
Yeah, when you say culture, I'd like to think of the one in my house.
Okay.
Because sometimes when we speak about culture, a lot of us didn't grow up in the era where people are picking up spears,
Sure.
and going to throw them at, at elephants and things like that. But there was a culture that was kind of passed down, even as we went through. And, many of our different tribal backgrounds have got those initiation processes, which then inputs some amount of culture, but there's also culture in the house, which is mostly bred by what kind of man you grew up under. And where you didn't grow up under any man, it's the man that fell into your life that gave you that culture.
Yes.
So in my home, I think for me, the man I saw and the man that I knew as a man, picking up from other men, was a man who was provided, who was tough, a man who was a disciplined guy, a man who, set the path and said, we are going this way, and that was it. And for a long time, that was the full definition of a man. But times have changed. In fact, Kesisi has made me really think by what he has said in his introduction. I began thinking how times have changed. You realize that we are speaking in a context where a lot of the definition of manhood is now given to us by social media.
Right.
In fact, even when you talk about the man, you then must describe exactly what you mean. Because even in manhood, we have got people who believe they are men, but are chasing after other men. We have got... I remember when we look at the Bible says that he made them male and female. Yet now, if you ask people how many genders there are, you'll be surprised at the answers you'll get. You won't get 2. You get 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And they're growing every day. They're taking almost all the letters of the alphabet. So this particular conversation is key and very important in us restructuring what the man was. Not only what he's supposed to be, but what he was in the context of how the Creator made him out to be. So
let's be a little vulnerable here.
Yes.
Since we are talking about the process of unmasking, that very process speaks to revealing something that was hidden or something that has been covered by several layers of what, is not. In your own experience as men, has there been any time where you have seen the need to mask up for whatever reason?
Oh yeah, peer pressure is one way. One of the things about manhood is that you're in constant comparison with other men. You sit in a group of men and you've got men who are, investment bankers and billionaires. And you can feel a need to embellish yourself. Even introductions become, somebody said, tell me, once I ask you, Justus, give me your name and what you do. What you do immediately gives me I immediately use what you do to calculate the amount of respect I'll give you. That's unfortunately the world we live in. You say, have you ever had, somebody says, I'm so and so and I'm a doctor. People go,
nice.
Yeah. Or I'm so and so and I'm a carpenter. It's a different. It's the same. So you find you will have in yourself a need to embellish yourself.
Yeah.
That's one thing, and I think many men, if they were honest to themselves, have been at a point in time where they have felt they've had to tweak a little bit of something to look a bit better, but present themselves in a better way. I mean, if you ask our wives what we told them when we were dating them, they they might tell you something.
Sure.
I think being a man is an elusive goal.
Is it?
The way society has made it.
Okay.
When you grow up as a small boy, you are told to be a good one, you must be obedient to your parents. Then you are obedient. When you start going to school, you are told a man must pass. You do your best. You are told men must get the science, the math and what have you. You try very hard. And once you get there, they tell you, no, a man must have a wife. You have a new goal. All of a sudden, then you go for that goal. Then a man must have these, a man. So at the end of the day, when you look back, it's like you never get it. Because the moment you get there, you are told, no, that was not it.
Yes.
Now there is a new goal. Is this the intention God had, that we are living in an elusive? Because at the beginning, your spouse was satisfied with who you are. But over time now, they look around and say, look at that other man. And look at this other man. So do you know what that means? The goal has changed. I think that's why this program, Unmasking the Man, we must have a particular man.
Okay. And Levi, what has been your experience, in the process of just finding yourself, because exposure to life in itself can make you lose identity of many things and lose sight of even the most important things, as a man. What has been, your experience in rediscovering yourself as a man, going through all that process and the noise around? How do you even sieve to make sure that you listen to the right voices and pick that which really would add value to your life as a man?
My experience has been, I had to lose my way to find my way, personally. But I will not sit here and tell you that I always had. I'm not one of those people who followed the path all the time, had a voice, and were able to walk the straight and narrow. I had to get lost first, personally. And in my getting lost and hitting rock bottom, sometimes for those of us who are like me, who may have gotten lost fast, you can only find the true definition once you're off the rails. Then you are now, when you're getting back on the rails, you look at it and say, this is why I got off. This is the problem. This is how I should continue. And the definition of the man is everywhere in the Bible. You look at the story of Job, who God was bragging about to the devil, basically, and got him in trouble. I mean, the guy got into trouble because God just said, that guy is a really
He's a great guy.
Excellent guy. And they were like, oh, really? Huh? If I take away this, I'll do And then the thing is to look at what was Job? What was this that God was bragging about? That's the definition of a man.
Have you been misunderstood? Let's pick it from there. As a result of not having that which the society today qualifies a man to be, have you sometimes felt misunderstood, misrepresented as a man because you lacked in that which perhaps the society uses as a lens to define manhood?
Of course. Look at me here, I'm battling weight. That's not supposed to be manly. A man is a six-pack, isn't it? In the definition of the social media right now. You look at it and people put either a man has got physical attributes, athletic, able to, do all these things supposedly, having a lot of prowess in the bedroom, which is giving people a lot of pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah.
You can see how many people are going to, do strange things to perform in that department. Either a man has to have cars. How many women are you seeing on social media saying, you know what, I'm not going to date a guy without a car? It's a basic tool. God has given us the definitions of what he expects in man. So you're asking, have I ever been confused? Plenty of times. All of us men are confused. Have you ever tried driving into I have a small car. Yeah. One of the vehicles I own is around, you've seen it, a 650cc car.
Yes.
This particular vehicle, on the days I drive it, the kind of respect I get at the gate is very different
When you drive a
when
big
I
car.
drive another one. Yes. Even the security men dismiss me. They say, oh, taxis park over there. They have already
Definition.
decided I cannot be coming I cannot be coming to do something serious.
Yes.
So you find, given that pressure, sometimes, like when I'm coming to your studio here, I have to drive a bigger car just so I can earn some respect at the gate there, and they can say, "Oh, this one looks like a guest,"
Yes, Pastor. Even as you respond to that, Pastor, maybe do you think this kind of pressure, to attain what is unattainable, has contributed in a way in pushing man into unfamiliar territory or spaces, and I'm referring to situations where now you find men are chasing things that lead them into conflicted identities. You just said that some people are almost finishing the whole alphabet. I don't know if there's any connection to that.
So I think some of the things we do, we push people. And people behave certain ways as a reaction to society or to seek favor. There are people who will outrightly go and identify with a group that has been rejected by society, these people of many letters, so that they get your attention, you guys, because they failed your standard. Now they are sending you there, they are saying, we have developed our own standard. But allow me to say that in Africa earlier, when we study about Africa culture previously, several years ago, a family could come together and say, I will give you my daughter and give me your son. And they will say, I've seen Justa's family, they are good people. They behave well. I think our daughter can get married there. So that the definition is not just what you have, but you are a good person. It's a good family. So that you'll find that families that are suspected to be witches, people will say, no, you cannot date that family because they are witches, their behavior. It's not about what you have, it's about who the family are and what they have now instilled in their children. But now we live in a society where if the person has enough money, enough education, even if the family are witches, it seems it's okay. It's okay. That's where I see a problem. That's why we are saying we really need to unmask this man. This program is necessary. Yes. We need to unmask this man so that we now deal with the right man.
Okay.
Yes.
So as we work towards getting to know who this right man is, there are people who are really in the struggle of, looking for this man. And in the process, they introduce us to a new term of toxic masculinity. I know you've interacted with this particular term, and in your view, where does masculinity or the definition of a man now become toxic? How do we even find ourselves in this situation where we are talking about toxic masculinity? What exactly is it?
Okay, maybe let me say that toxic can be in two ways. It can either be toxic because you are obsessed by it as a man, or it's toxic because the other person doesn't want you to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the other party is uncomfortable with a man being a man, then it's toxic. And that could be a form of oppression of the man. But it is also toxic when the man is so obsessed with being a man that nothing else is going. Well, maybe that's...
Wow. Deep.
I think the space by toxic masculinity was taken because, Where there's a vacuum, anything enters and occupies. And I think there was a vacuum in the knowledge of what a man is. These programs like this are very few.
Yeah.
But right now toxic programs are quite a number. There was a vacuum for men sitting and learning about what it is to be truly men. And I think we lost the way, all of us, as in culture, in Christianity. There was always the assumption that with manhood, you would somehow get to find out as you mature what a man is. The template was not really given. You go and, and when you only discover what you have done is not manly when you do something wrong. And people say, that's not manly.
Yeah.
But they never really gave you the template for what manly was to begin with. So you're always, you are expected to know. That's why people say, hey, men don't do this. Men don't do this. But who gave us the don't do this book? How many of us have it that we can go and, revise and see what should it be done as men? So that's the absence of genuine creates counterfeit. And counterfeit came in. And now counterfeit is there and it's spreading. And because of that, we are now having to now run after to show what genuine looks like. Once again to men. But even so, with the toxic masculinity, as you rightfully said, you can also be toxic yourself. It can be also you and what you decide to, because we cannot abdicate you from the responsibility of what you personally decide to consume.
Right.
Yeah? The Bible said, as a man thinketh,
So is he.
so is he.
I'm happy that you've actually given us a lot of illustrations that would help someone even know where to begin from in trying to redefine and understand himself as a man. So this man, the man.
The man. God's definition of the man. God's intention of the man. The man in the Bible. This character who God says is a man of faith, Abraham. What kind of man was he? You look at David, a man after God's own heart. What kind of man was he? And you discover that these people are defined more than just by what they possessed. Yeah. And more than just what they attained, there was something more to that. And so that's where we need to hit, so that society looks back and says, hey, then maybe we need to bring up boys to men in a different way. Not changing goalposts, but one clear goalpost throughout their life.
Pastor, what would be the benefits of attaining that true identity once we achieve it? What are some of the gains? What are some of the benefits of attaining that true, identity of the man?
Number one is that we will get the favor of God, because we will be in sync with God's will. Number one. Number two, wives will get better husbands. Number three, children will get better fathers. Number four, society will be made up of good people. And we will even handle mental health issues that people are struggling with out here. So at the end of the day, we will have a better society than it is today, than a society where one half is left to their own wiles. You are men, you can deal with it. It's a man's world. We have no program for you, no NGO speaking for you. Just mind your business, be a man, live your life. And so you have men wandering in this maze of changing goals. When you think you have hit it, you say, I found it. They tell you, that's not it.
Yeah.
You found blue, we told you blue, but actually it's actually green now. You search again, you get green, they tell you, no, it wasn't green, it's red. And so men are in a mad race of what they can never catch.
Where do we begin from as we try to unmask and shed off all these layers that have been now a lie? We've been lied to almost all our lives in every, facet. Where do you begin?
We begin from a place where we are willing to see different. Even for the conviction to happen, you must also come to a point where you must, contend with self. And then also tell yourself that, and open yourself to the possibility of new learning. Everything that is wrong was learned. Everything new, also, you have to unlearn some things to learn new one. But you've got to be open to that possibility. And I am hoping that this particular platform will give us a point where we get to the place where we are open. Because Kesisa said very well, society changes when men change. It's true. We are the number one perpetrators of violence. We are the ones with the highest suicide rates. We are the ones with the highest mental cases. We are the most in rehab centers. Mm-hmm. You know, when men change, everything changes overnight.
Wow.
Overnight. The society will change. Go and ask the cigarette makers who are the number one consumers. It's men. Mm. You know, drugs, you know, all these things. And there's when men change, even it changes women. I'm telling you, there is a direct, women may tell you, oh, you know, we don't need men, blah, blah, blah. You know, there are those women who say, well, we can function on our own. But surprisingly, even when they talk about a man's world, it's mostly benched on how men behave that has changed the course of society. That is why we have women wanting to be men.
Wow.
You know.
Gentlemen, we are just getting started. This is our premiere edition for Unmasking. We have so much to unmask and learn in the process and grow together as men. I just want to give each one of you 10 seconds. I know it's very little, to give your parting shot in regards to this whole situation of unmasking the man and what you are looking forward to even as we continue with this particular season of Unmasking the Man.
Well, there is a man that society and circumstances present, and there is a man in scripture that God created. We need to find the man.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Just looking forward to candid conversations and an honest and truthful look at what we expect of a man, what the Bible says of a man, and who we are as men.
Wow. I'm honestly looking forward to this engagement. And so thank you so much for joining us on Unmasking the Man here on Hope Channel, an engaging and transformative men's talk show that delves into the complexities of manhood in the contemporary world, aiming to provide a platform for authentic conversations, personal growth, and spiritual insights. Remember, this journey doesn't end here. It is the continuous pursuit, a lifelong commitment to growth, integrity, and love. As we unmask the layers that have held us back, let us step into the world with renewed purpose, compassion, and strength. Let us inspire and uplift one another, leading by example and reflecting the true nature of Christ within us. See you on the next episode of Unmasking the Man.